Welcome to the Investing Report Weekly News Update. We're heading into the final week of August, and the calendar is packed with key reports that could move markets. It all begins on Monday with July's new home sales data, giving us the latest read on the housing market. Then on Tuesday, we'll get the Consumer Confidence Report, a key measure of how optimistic or cautious households are feeling. By midweek, all eyes will be on Nvidia. The chipmaker reports earnings on Wednesday, and with a market cap of roughly $4.3 trillion, a surprise in either direction has the potential to move markets. On Thursday, the spotlight shifts to the broader economy as second quarter GDP data is released, offering a clearer picture of growth under recent Trump administration policy changes. And finally, Friday wraps up the week with two critical releases: the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey and the July Personal Consumption Expenditures Inflation Report, the Federal Reserve's preferred gauge of price pressures. It's shaping up to be a pivotal week as we close out August. Now, let's recap the biggest story from last week, the Federal Reserve. On Friday, Fed Chair Jerome Powell signaled that a September rate cut is likely. He highlighted that the job market is weakening, but inflation is heating back up. The Fed is caught between a rock and a hard place with Trump's tariffs. Originally, policymakers thought they were a one-off event. But as new tariffs keep getting added and old ones being reshaped, it's become harder to measure their true impact on prices. The Fed faces a difficult balancing act, where cutting rates to support jobs will add to already existing inflationary pressures, a scenario economists call stagflation. Markets, however, brushed off the uncertainty. The S&P 500 rallied more than 1.5% on Friday, as traders bet on interest rate cuts in the near future. With monetary policy in focus, let's turn to corporate America, where stress is rising. In July, 71 US companies filed for bankruptcy, the most in a single month since 2020, up from 63 in June. So far this year, 446 companies have filed, the highest year-to-date total since 2010. Commercial real estate is also under pressure. Office vacancy rates rose to a record 20% in Q2 2025, marking the sixth consecutive quarterly increase. Vacant office space has nearly doubled since the pandemic low, surpassing post-2008 levels. Despite these pressures, new business formation remains strong. The number of new US businesses is at its highest level since 2007. Next, we turn to US economic data affecting the everyday lives of Americans. Student loan delinquency rates have reached 12.9%, marking the highest level in 21 years. These economic pressures are also being felt by consumers. According to the Associated Press, 86% of Americans report that grocery costs are at least a minor source of stress, and 53% viewing it as a major concern. Housing markets are facing continued challenges. According to Redfin News, for the first time ever, 39 of the top 50 US metros saw month-over-month home price declines. Housing affordability is at a record low. First-time home buyers are at a record low. And home sellers now outnumber buyers by more than 500,000, the largest gap ever recorded. The US dollar's purchasing power continues to decline, losing 95% over the last 100 years and over 40% since 2000. Technology continues to dominate US market headlines. Sam Altman announced OpenAI will open its first office in India later this year, noting a four-fold increase in ChatGPT users in India over the past year. US data centers are booming, with $40 billion under construction, up 400% since 2022. Nvidia now has a market cap equivalent to 3.6% of global GDP. That's larger than the stock markets of the UK, France, and Germany. However, geopolitical tensions are affecting the company. Nvidia has halted production of its H20 chip for the Chinese market after Beijing reportedly warned Chinese companies against using these chips due to potential security issues. Meta, recently signed a $10 billion cloud deal with Google and paused hiring for their AI division after bringing on more than 50 researchers and engineers. Walmart's CEO reported that weekly tariff costs are rising, increasing inventory expenses. PepsiCo announced it will increase carbonated soft drink concentrate prices by 10% starting September 7th. The largest 10% of US stocks now make up about 76% of market capitalization of the S&P 500, making it a record high. The S&P 500's price-to-book ratio is now 5.3, surpassing the dot-com bubble peak in 2000. Shifting to global news, Canada's youth unemployment for ages 16 to 24 reached 14.6% in July, the highest since 2010. Travel data shows a 36.9% drop in Canadians returning to the US by car compared with last year. Trade developments continue to shape global markets. Canada is removing many reciprocal tariffs on US products, according to Bloomberg. China lifted export restrictions on fertilizers, rare earths, and tunnel boring machines to India. The Financial Times also reports that China and India are seeking to repair strained ties and ease trade tensions amid the ongoing US trade war. Japan's exports dropped 2.6% year-over-year in July, the steepest decline since February 2021. New US auto tariffs taking effect in August could add further pressure. Japan's 20-year government bond yield climbed to the highest level this century, now above 2.6% after weak auctions. Japan is also facing demographic pressures, with 687,689 births in 2024 and 1.59 million deaths. In the UK, the 30-year yield went over 5.6%, the highest since 1998, while London's IPO market plunged to its lowest level in at least 30 years. If you found this video insightful, then hit the subscribe button for more weekly updates from the Investing Report, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.